Today on Interview With, I interview Edward Hutchinson, where he and his business partner David Johnston work for Pacific Union LA in Beverly Hills. The Hutchinson-Johnston team are one of the most innovative marketing real estate teams around. Hi everyone, I'm with Edward Hutchinson with Pacific Union Real Estate. We have actually met via Instagram. And Edward is such an interesting person and a really great real estate agent here in the Beverly Hills, West Side, Venice Beach area. And I thought it would be great to interview Edward regarding his story, how he came to the States, his passion for real estate, as well as his passion for marketing. So Edward, thanks for meeting with us.
Nice to meet one of you guys, and thank you for having me.
So you came to the States about 3.5 years ago?
Yeah, coming up 3.5 years, I think in 2 months now, yeah.
First, where in England are you from?
From originally, so I was actually born and raised in London, in kind of southwest London, just south of Chelsea and just south of the river, if anyone knows the kind of landscape of London where the Thames kind of separates it. Grew up there until the age of 13, then actually went to boarding school for 5 years until I was 18.
And you started real estate in London?
Yeah, so actually I kind of left I left university, and actually I was kind of wondering what I was going to do with my life, kind of tried to be a bit sort of self-assessing in terms of what I was doing. I used to actually do a lot of charity event work at university, which was geared more at students, collecting money on the weekends in different cities across the UK, dressed up in funny, outfits, and then the way you get the student to really want to come on that trip is we would basically have a double-decker bus that would take them from that city at the end of the day back to Nottingham, where we were. That's cool. And you would have it sort of buckets filled with alcohol where everyone would down a pint to the Queen, and then the whole night would go off on a tangent.
What does that mean? A pint to the Queen? Like you just cheers to the Queen?
Yeah, the first pint was to the Queen, so we would fill out of literally a bin, like a trash can, is what we would make the cocktail in. So you'd get a pint in a plastic glass, down the first one to the Queen. Second one was for the boys, so all the boys downed another pint, and then the third one was for the girls. So everyone by 10 minutes into the bus
is just hammered.
Yeah.
You were talking to me a little bit about how real estate is different in London than the States.
Absolutely.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
So went to work for a broker called Foxtons, biggest in London, and it does work very differently there. So we kind of have a situation where there isn't two sides to a transaction. It's almost, if you want to sell your home, you would call up 3 different agencies like Pacific Union, the agency, Coldwell Banker. You would get them to come into your house, you'd have a meeting, and they would explain to you what they would do to sell your property. So that's very similar to the US. The big difference, I think, is that you would not put it out on the open market. It would be obviously very similarly advertised on Zillow and Trulia, or our version's called Zoopla, but it would only be your agency that listed it that would effectively have buyers agents that would go and do the showings for you.
So it's really an in-house listing.
Exactly.
It's not, you're not really interacting with other agencies when you have a listing.
Yeah, and it's all very competitive. So it's almost like on the high street, it's not like, oh, well, I know that person who's at that brokerage and I do that work with them. It's we are the dominant brokerage on this high street, and we have the most listings, we have the most sales, and that's kind of more how it's run. But similarly, actually, the price to sell your property there, we were the most expensive brokerage, and we would charge 2.5% total. When I first started out and I was just working with buyers, we would have 25 listings within our office, and I would have 500 buyers' contact details at any one time. And my job basically was to get as many of those people through those doors as I possibly could to try and get the best offer for that property.
In the States, being a real estate agent is way more entrepreneurial because you don't get the leads. The leads are not given to you. You have to be out there pretty much pounding the street, and you don't have as much support as in England, from the agency.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of that corporate structure where they've got their big website and they're spending money on park benches or whatever, and they divvy the leads out as people call in to inquire about a property, And it was pretty amazing actually, and actually I think really cutting my teeth there gave me a really, not maybe advantage, but it gave me a good understanding of what's needed to get deals done, because they would basically have a tracker system on your computer that would see how many phone calls you made outbound per day, how many bookings and appointments you'd made, and they would expect you to make 100 phone calls a day, book 6 showings a day, and if you did that consistently, some of the agents did very well and were doing 5-10 transactions a month, but it does almost work differently where here you're a lot more involved in the actual transaction after you get the offer agreed, where we're doing all the contract signing, everything like that. In the UK, effectively you get the deal agreed and you pass it to the lawyers to work out all of the minutiae of the of all of that.
Of the actual transaction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got it. Going into more in depth on marketing,
yeah.
You do really interesting stuff on showing the lifestyle, especially in Venice.
Definitely.
And then also, I personally love the Tuesday Mansion Tour, where you show like really amazing property in Beverly Hills and West Hollywood. So what kind of got you to thinking about that type of strategy, and what other types of marketing strategies do you use in real estate?
I mean, I think the core for us is that attention is kind of the most important thing in any sales role, or actually in most sort of businesses, I think, in the world. In order to sort of achieve what you're trying to achieve, whether it's selling your services, selling a home, whatever it is, the first thing you need before you can actually sell that is the person's attention.
Right.
So for us, like, we kind of have looked at how we think the landscape is changing. Obviously, historically, before the internet is now what it is, it was very expensive, and it still is very expensive to buy, an advert in a 2D picture in a paper, and that was getting the person's attention.
Right.
And now, obviously, we have these in our pockets now, which are kind of insane, and I see more and more day by day people getting all of their information from here. And so we kind of have looked at it from a strategy of where are people's attention, and how can we be the source there, shouting enough and kind of making enough attention and engaging content that actually people come back and they want to, sort of see what we are trying to tell them.
Right.
And I definitely think kind of coming into the industry, and there's a lot of agents that obviously do it the sort of tried and true method and how it's been done for however long, and you post the 8 pictures of the property and it can get boring. There's definitely an element, I think, where unless you're telling a story of what you're trying to achieve, then people lose interest very quickly, and they don't necessarily get hooked into it. So when we were doing our Instagram account and when we've posted things in the past, it's definitely been, I've looked at other agents' accounts, and there's definitely a change and a shift that I'm seeing more towards what we're doing now. But it can get very boring just scrolling through, picture of a living room, picture of this, but even in some of those incredible properties that we tour. So I think we try and do every third post on our Instagram account as a lifestyle post. You're buying a house in California, do you surf, do you hike? What is your lifestyle going to be here? Because that, as we were saying, is a big element of it. And instead of doing, your boring sort of panning shots of this or that, we try and think outside the box in what is going to grab attention, and effectively in the end kind of build us a platform that gives us an advantage. Because I think, as I've said in when we've met before, realistically we're selling a house, but most of the time we're actually selling our services.
Yes.
It's how are we going to sell the house better than anyone else? What are we going to do to get more attention, more marketing on that?
And it may not be so logical, but when a buyer or a seller looks at your Instagram and your YouTube and sees how great your marketing is, that just kind of, I think, subconsciously even turns into, well, that's how Edward's going to sell my listing.
Exactly that.
Which is a great strategy.
It is, it's almost, it kills 2 birds with 1 stone.
That's right.
Effectively. You're getting attention to the property you're trying to sell, but equally it's dropping a business card online where people are coming across that and it's there forever. Obviously there's a huge amount of content that's now posted online, but the more that actually I think you can find what your niche is and sort of what you're going to do, and associate yourself with the people that actually you're going to connect with and hopefully help them sell their home. Hopefully that kind of converts, but it's obviously a lot more long term than your here's that house, here's the price point, please fill out a form and we'll call you.
It's changed. thanks so much, Edward, for meeting with us.
Absolutely.
It was great hearing from you and your background. And feel free to reach out to Hutchinson Johnstone on Instagram.
Yeah, or at Hutch Johnston is kind of, because they wouldn't let us put it, it's such a long
It's
name.
too long.
Yeah, so we had to cut it down, so we went to Hutch Johnston. But it's quite funny actually, a lot of people message me just like, "Hi Hutchinson." I'm like, "Okay, my name's Edward," but yeah, we'll go with it. We'll go with it.
Cool. Yeah, and their LA Mansion Tours is awesome. It's every Tuesday, and feel free to reach out to him and see his social media.
Absolutely, and I hope you guys found this interesting. Thank you very much, Mark, for having us on.